Welcome back. We're going to continue our notes on the judicial branch today. So before we do that, go ahead and take a look at Schoology. And as I mentioned, we're going to do some notes for today, January the 7th. And tomorrow you'll have a case brief on the Supreme Court case McDonald versus Chicago. So make sure that you get that submitted before the end of the day tomorrow. As far as our judicial branch notes go, we'll take a look at it. Tuesday we discussed the vocabulary for this unit, and we did the difference between criminal procedures and civil procedures. Basically, criminal procedures, the purpose is to determine if a crime has been committed, and there's certain things that are set up by our Constitution and the Bill of Rights whenever you are accused of a crime. And then civil procedures doesn't necessarily have to do with anything criminal. No crime has been committed, but some person or plaintiff feels like they have had their rights infringed upon and they are due some sort of damage or compensation. And so there is a dispute, and civil cases settle disputes. All right, so where we are today is we're going to talk about the dual court system. Okay, dual simply means two. Okay, there's two systems within our nation, and it's simple. It's all because of federalism. There are federal courts and there are state courts, just like there's federal levels for the legislative branch and executive branch. There's going to be federal levels for the judicial branch, and that is called the dual court system. So it really depends upon what it is that you did or what it is you're suing for or the grievance or whatever. It all depends upon the circumstances as to whether it's a federal case or if it's a state case. Now, you don't have to necessarily write all these down immediately because I'm going to go over all of them in turn right now. Or at least we'll get through the states first. Now, please don't try to write all this. Okay, you can, if you feel the need to pause the video, you can. But this is just simply the West Virginia court system. Okay, and it also has federalism. There's local courts, and then you work your way up. So the highest court in the state of West Virginia is the West Virginia Supreme Court of Appeals. That's what it is called. It's the highest court in West Virginia. It consists of 5 justices. Each of these justices are elected to 12-year terms. It is an elected position. It's not appointed by the governor, so they do run. These are the current justices on the West Virginia Supreme Court serving currently. Okay. Before that, you have circuit courts. Okay. Circuit courts hear a variety of different cases. Okay. Now, when it comes to jurisdiction, that is where how cases are heard. If a court has original jurisdiction, that means that they can hear the case first. So the first time a case is brought before a court or judge or jury, that is called original jurisdiction. Any time a case is brought to a court, whether it be a same court or a higher court, a second or third time, that's called appellate jurisdiction. Circuit courts have original jurisdiction. They're like the first line of defense when it comes to hearing cases. Okay, now they can do a variety of different types of cases. They can do civil cases, they can do criminal cases, and within the state of West Virginia, this is how our districts are set up. And as you can see, where we live in Raleigh County is the 10th district, and we have a district all to ourselves. Okay, which is kind of a unique thing. So let me see if I can get rid of the laser pointer. Maybe I can. And go back to the arrow. And we'll see if I can show you a website that has our circuit court judges. Okay. So this is just simply the website of the West Virginia, courtswv.gov. And these are our circuit court judges. All right. Judge Burnside, Judge Dimlick, Judge Kirkpatrick, and Darrell Poling. So we have 4 judges, okay, within our 10th Judicial District, okay? So they hear a variety of cases. And Paul Flanagan is our circuit court clerk, which is an elected position as well, and they do the filings, okay? So the Judicial Center in Uptown Beckley, that's where these people serve, and that's where you can find them, okay? All right, so X that out. All right, so within our state, there are 31 circuits. So out of 55 counties, Raleigh has its own. We have our own circuit, and we have 4 of the 75 circuit court judges. All right. Let's see here. Now my computer wants to mess up. Okay, so this is the type of cases they can hear. They can hear a variety of things. They can hear domestic relations. They hear misdemeanors. They can hear felonies. The difference between a felony and a misdemeanor is a felony is a more serious crime. Misdemeanor would be a crime, but just less serious. Now, all crime to me is serious. Like, I don't want to, get arrested for anything. But, this would be like shoplifting or driving really, really fast. Misdemeanors, lesser crimes. Felonies would be things like arson, rape, murder, kidnapping, your bad stuff, okay? It's all bad to me, but circuit courts hear both of them. They can also hear juvenile cases, and they also can have appellate jurisdiction as well. All right? So that's the circuit court, and West Virginia family courts is the next part. Now, these family courts are kind of a part of our circuit courts, okay? And they hear their own types of cases. Our particular court is separate. So there's a West Virginia family court that's separate for us at the Raleigh County Courthouse, okay? And they hear cases of divorce, child support, who the dad is, paternity cases. In cases of divorce and there's children involved, family courts can determine child custody and visitation rights. They hear domestic violence, and also, if parents are deemed unfit, they can talk about grandparents' rights as well. Within the state of West Virginia, there are 47 family court judges in 27 courts. So let's take a look at ours. All right, so it takes us back to the similar website. Now, Raleigh County is part of the 13th Family Circuit Court, but it's not just Raleigh County. We have 3. All right, we have 3. Judge Goldston, McGraw, and Shuck. I myself have been had to go through the family court for divorce, and Judge McGraw was mine. But all these people work out of the Raleigh County Judicial Center in Uptown Beckley, regardless of what county it is that they are from. But these are your family court judges, and that's the type of cases that they mediate or hear, or divorces, things of that nature. Okay. All right, magistrates. A magistrate is simply the lowest form of a judge. Okay, they're just the lowest form of a judge, and they have a variety of different things that they can do. They can hear small claims, like Judge Judy. She would do small claims. They can do protective or restraining orders if evidence is sufficient to warrant that. They can do preliminary hearings for misdemeanors. They can handle cases with juveniles. They do traffic court type things. So it's just simply the lowest case court. All right. They can issue warrants. They do a variety of roles. So, but if they only can do civil cases if the dispute or the damages asked for are less than $10,000. Anything over that's going to go automatically to the circuit court. Okay, they definitely hear misdemeanor cases. They can conduct preliminary hearings like arraignments for felonies, but they do not hear felony cases. They can issue warrants, whether it be arrest warrants or search warrants. They can set bail and bond and make decisions about how people plea. Um, they have a variety of different jobs. Okay, we talked about how they are kind of the first judge you might see if you commit a crime, and they also have roles within the domestic violence realm of the court system, and I'll kind of show you. They're all on the same website here. So family court. Here's the magistrates. All right. So our magistrate. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We have 6 magistrates in our district. Okay. So these are Tommy Peck used to be our school's police officer. Like before Officer Pack, it was Officer Peck. So she's now a magistrate, and these are all elected positions. And there are 158 magistrates in the state of West Virginia, and we have 6 of them. I'm sorry, 5 of them. 5. So this Deborah Bruce is a clerk, like Paul Flanagan was a clerk for the circuit court. So every county has at least 2, and we have 5. Kanawha County has the most. They have 10. It's the most densely populated county. And like I said, magistrates do a variety of things. They issue search warrants, hear misdemeanor cases. Get back to hear misdemeanor cases, conduct hearing for felony cases, hear civil cases of less than a certain amount, $10,000. They can issue protective orders, and if you appeal any decision, or you felt like you were treated unfairly in the magistrate court, it would go up to the circuit court. Okay. Also, a part of West Virginia's court system is the mental hygiene system, mental health system. All right. Now, the way this works is that if you are a person who has a mental health condition, okay, a commissioner, which is usually a lawyer, they find facts for your case, okay, and then they report to a judge at the circuit level, unless you're a missing person. And those mental health commissioners present facts and make recommendations to the circuit judge based on evidence at your hearing. And then the circuit judge makes a final decision as to whether or not you can stand trial. Okay? So each circuit court usually has one mental hygiene commissioner. So I'm going to see, I'm not entirely certain if they're listed on this website. Magistrate, family, circuit. Don't see them there. Let's see. Like I said, this is just the West Virginia courts.gov. Let's see if I can. I just want to see if I can find some information for you here. If it were everybody were here, you could find it a lot faster because you could just tell me where you see mental health. Well, we do have a mental health system, and I've tried to explain to you how that works. It may be under circuit court. No. Public resources, maybe. Mental hygiene and guardians. Okay. So here it just kind of gives you a rundown of how that works. If you want to try to involuntarily hospitalize somebody who is having mental health conditions, you can do so. If you meet certain things, it's very difficult to do. I'll be honest with you. If somebody doesn't want to go, it's tough to have for the government to make them go unless they're a minor. Okay, so oh boy, there's a misspelling on the government's website. Wonderful, gotta love West Virginia. Okay, so but those are the different types of courts that we have available to us in our courts. We do also have a juvenile system. The word juvenile does not necessarily mean that you're bad. Every time I say juvenile, everybody thinks juvenile delinquent. Well, a juvenile, you guys may be juveniles. It's just anyone who's under the age of 18, okay, whether you're a criminal or not. But that's all a juvenile is. Now, if a juvenile commits a crime, like they are committing criminal acts, they can be treated as an adult, even if they're 12 years old. If a judge determines that they should be treated as adult, they can. Now, that's not always the case because they are juveniles. The judges have much greater latitude. All right, I have this word latitude here in handling juvenile cases because juveniles are different. They're not everybody matures at the same pace. But usually by the time you're 18, you are considered an adult. All right, but juveniles can be treated as an adult. So, but not all of them are. So when we see these juvenile referees, is actually what the judges are called whenever they act. They're called referees. Like let's say you're in high school and you're under the age of 18 and you do something bad. You steal a car and I don't know. You commit a pretty serious crime, a felony. Well, the judge may look at you and say, well, this is your first offense. You have no previous record of violence or anything like that. And so your punishment is that you cannot go to any extracurricular events at school. So no prom, no football games. You are forbidden from extracurricular activities at school. And that's your punishment. And the judge can do that with the force of law. So juveniles judges and referees have a much greater latitude in handling juvenile cases, okay? Or they might say, okay, you go to school 5 days a week, and then on every Saturday you have to come to the courthouse and clean it. I mean, they could, in theory, do that, okay? Or you have to go volunteer your time at a shelter, okay? And that can be your sentence to make penance for the crime that you did. All right, so these juvenile referees have much greater latitude. In most counties, it's magistrates that act as the juvenile referees, but circuit court judges can also act. If it depends upon the crime and what's going on too. Okay, so I'll stop there for today. That's pretty good bit of information. I only did the state courts. Okay, I only did the West Virginia courts. So remember, you got at the top, you got the West Virginia Supreme Court of Appeals, and then it goes down to the circuit court, and the circuit court has a lot of different moving parts: the juvenile system, mental health system, family courts, and then the lowest form of a judge is magistrates. So in America, we have a dual court system because of federalism. There are state courts and federal courts. And today we did the state courts. All right? So if you guys have questions, comments, I hope you guys are safe and happy. And, it's a tough time in our country right now, but hang in there and we'll get through it. So take care of yourselves, take care of each other, and I'm here for you if you need me. So I'll talk to you later. Oh, tomorrow make sure you do your court case brief on the McDonald case brief. All right, so talk to you later.